The event commemorated Trump Jr.'s new book, Triggered: How the Left Thrives on Hate and Wants to Silence Us, bringing forth a conversation on the book's content, Trump Jr. and Indian Americans. Promoting his book and engaging with all, Donald Trump Jr. also called India an ally for the United States and said that he wants the world to be a safer place for all democracies to function and work with each other.
It's a great honor to have my good friend Donald Trump Jr. and Kimberly, who are friends since many years, and rather celebrate the success of his New York bestseller, Triggered, but also to address to the Indian Americans in United States, in India, Indians, and as well as Indian diaspora around the world about the vision of his father, President Donald Trump, who's a true friend of India, a true friend of Prime Minister Modi. So they've been so good to be here. Donald Trump Jr. needs no introduction. He himself is a very successful household name, followed and loved by millions. And he's also a very busy man. His every minute is spent fighting like a true gladiator. In spite of that, he has found time to be with all of us. He's also a very successful senior advisor to President Trump's 2020 campaign. President Trump adores her, respects her for that. And last but not the least, every Indian would be surprised to learn today that Kimberly too has played a major part in the success of the famous PM Modi and President Trump's Howdy Modi summit in Houston.
And, the wonderful event, a lot of people are here, and we have heard Mr. Trump Jr. to say what's actually happening in Washington, D.C., and how the media is really not presenting the facts, and we are so happy to be here. And I really appreciate everybody to vote for President Trump in 2020. As Prime Minister Mr. Modi rightly said, to support Mr. Trump. I thank you, ITV, I thank you, Dr. Sudhir Parekh, and all my friends there. Thank you.
Tonight, I would like to convey to the President of the United States that I compliment him that he gave birth to a tiger. Don doesn't just have your name, but he's also as blunt, as bold, and as a good fighter like you, Mr. President.
आज हमारे कनकसा गोलिया ने ट्रम्प जूनियर के बुक के उद्घाटन पे हमें बुलाया है। बहुत बहुत आभारी हैं, हम लोग आए और बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम रहा। और हमने हमारी यूनाइटेड नेशन जयपुर फुट की बुक जो है ट्रम्प जूनियर को दी है, उन्होंने स्वीकार करी है। एंड इट इज़ वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट प्रोग्राम वी हैड इन यूनाइटेड नेशन एज वेल एज इन कैपिटल हिल लास्ट मंथ इन वॉशिंगटन. And we represent as a team over in Jaipur Fort.
You keep fighting for conservative family values. You keep fighting to keep our enemies away from our borders. You keep fighting to keep America great again. From this platform, we would like to assure you that India and Indian Americans stand solidly with you. We will always support you in your fight.
This event went very well, and today everybody is so happy to be here. And this function went very well and very successful. Thank you.
You have been wonderful and steadfast, and your patriotism, your support in organizing, obviously truly a remarkable event, well attended by such esteemed individuals in the Indian American community. The large measure of your work is evidenced here tonight in the fantastic company that we are fortunate to be keeping. So thank you so much for doing this and getting Mr. Prakash involved and his family. It's truly impressive, but it just goes to show you what a couple of individuals can do when they put their hearts and minds together and they're passionate about what they believe in. And really it's just been a wonderful experience for me growing up, because as Don knows, Pretty much all my best friends are Indian American, so they've essentially told me that I am by virtue an honorary member, and I sure try to earn that every single day. I really do. I love it.
You have seen a lot of South Asian heritage people. The Indian Americans have gathered here, people who believe in the conservative values, people who endorse Mr. Trump, and they welcomed his son, Donald Trump Jr., and the event was hosted by the local Indian American community. It was an awesome event, and we thank you, ITV, for coming in here and for covering this. Thank you so much.
My background with India and even Indian Americans goes back quite far. I was the first one in the Trump organization to say, hey, we got to go back to India and start doing some deals there. I mean, we're in real estate, there's a lot of people over there. We got to get in on that. And so it was an interesting experience. I think one that you will all probably agree with me may be relatively typical. So, and while it was interesting, and certainly a little bit of a culture shock, it also made me appreciate the entrepreneurial spirit that so resides in my friends in the Indian community. That notion to get a deal going, get whatever it takes to make something happen and get it going. And finally, it took me a little bit of time, and now we have some of the same mutual friends over there, so I think I'm with some good people over there. So we see the results. We see unprecedented success in the stock market, in people's 401k, in new startup business. For every demographic in the country, we see wages for the lowest earners going up for the first time in decades. We see everyone being able to live the American dream that I know is so meaningful to so many of you, so many of my friends, so many Americans, and so many people in the Indian American community. It's why they're here, for that opportunity, for that chance. They don't want the handout, they want to work for it.
He said some very valid points, and about how the media does kind of change what they have to say. It looks like Chinese whisper going on. But it was great to be a part of the Long Island Hicksville community.
There's a time where we have to step up and we have to do the right thing. There is a time where we have to fight for our values, for our cultures, for our beliefs. And he's done that. He's done that for all Americans. A rising tide lifts all ships. And that's what's incredible, to see the results of what's going on, to see what he's been able to do. And I imagine in this community full of business leaders, you've seen those results yourselves, but they're not just benefits for you. They're benefits for everyone around. The employees that you hire, the businesses who are your suppliers, the beneficiaries. Everyone's winning because of this. And that's why I've been such an advocate for this, because I want to see that winning continue. I want to see America maintain its rightful place as the leader of the free world. I want to see them be able to work with their incredible allies like India to make the world a safer